Also in President Trump's sit-down interview with Maria Bartiromo, he talked about one of my favorite topics. And if President Trump is even half successful in getting this done, it will be one of his greatest accomplishments. There never should have been a federal, centralized, Washington, D.C. based Department of Education. Never should have been. There never should have been a Department of Education that is a Politburo controlling what your kids learn, interfering with what education should be. Education, properly understood, is the pursuit of good, true, and beautiful. Teachers should be gardeners allowing kids to grow into what they actually are, not carpenters trying to cut them into something that the administrative state wants. The Prussian German model of education has failed this country. You see, the German model of education is hyper-centralized, technocratic. We're going to give you nothing but skills. You see, our founding fathers were educated classically. Our founding fathers were educated with local communities, studying the ancient texts. Our founders understood their Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Montesquieu. The founding fathers understood the great thinkers that eventually built Western civilization. Education definitionally must be bottom up, not top down. Many of our founding fathers were even sent abroad to learn at then the greatest universities on the planet. But education then was not what it is today. It was about the Socratic exploration towards truth. Every founding father was classically Christian educated, and boy, did they know their Bible. They knew the roots. They knew the Torah. They knew the story of the Exodus. They knew Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They knew Romans, and they knew 1st and 2nd Corinthians. We can celebrate America, but if we don't understand that how we educated our founding fathers is one of the reasons why we have such a great country, then we're failing. One of the main reasons we like partnering with Hillsdale College. The current top-down model has bloated budgets, too many bureaucrats. Dr. Larry Arnn from Hillsdale came on our show and gave us a breathtaking number. There are about 11 million people that work in education in this country. About 7.5 million of the 11 million are not even teachers. They're paper pushers, administrative bureaucrats. They are the bloat. This is President Trump continuing, calling for the dismantling, the destruction, and the end of the pernicious Department of Education. Play cut 25.
Can you tell us anything about the education department that you're going to dismantle?
We want to bring the schools back to the states because we have the worst, literally, we have the worst education department and education in the world. We're ranked at the bottom of the list, and yet we're number one when it comes to cost per pupil. We want to not only have school choice, which is important, but we want to bring it back to the states so the states can run the schools, and they will be every bit as good as the top educational departments anywhere in the world.
This means more money for states, but just look at this empirically. The more we have gotten away from a parent-based, family-based, citizen-based, student-based learning model, the more that our standards have decreased. The standards of American education are lackluster. We are like 27th in the industrialized world. It's a true story. Can you guys resend that story that I thought was a parody? There's a young woman who got honors from her high school. I think I'm getting this right. She was part of the honor society and she could not read or write, so she's suing her school. It's a real story. She's suing her school because they gave her honors, but she cannot read or write. You go to this is it. She graduated high school with honors. It's a true story, CNN.com. She graduated high school with honors, but she can't read or write. Now she's suing. That is the Department of Education. She cannot read or write, but she's an honor student. The product of the Department of Education, what we are getting out is not just the lowering of standards, but it is the downfall of our great nation. So it's a CNN story. Alicia Ortiz is 19 years old, freshman at the University of Connecticut, and she can't read or write. She was accepted into the University of Connecticut without being able to read or write.